Hi, good morning each and every one of you. This is Paul Moses Vincent, English language trainer. And today I just would like to talk something about the role of English medium education across the country, and not only our country, India, but also the rest of the world. And we all know that English language has got a very big role to play in our lives. It has got the tremendous significance across the world. Most of us know it, but we find most of the Indians neglecting this fact, ignoring this fact, not wanting to go for it. And even the government also want to ease things for the students and not wanting them to work hard about it. But still, we should not ignore as we are working for organizations and especially in the English medium education system. Quite a few facts which I would like to bring here is, it's really a tough choice for the young or old parents to send their children to English medium schools. And if it is a big task for them, and if it is thought as if it is really going to be a big problem, it's better not to send the children to the schools with English medium, just as a trend or on seeking other kids being sent here. What I mean to say here is, they just want to send their children to English medium schools. And they would just have a word with the neighbors that my son or daughter is studying in an English medium school, and except for that one, there is no other benefit that they do have. The rest of the things are getting neglected. Schools are also suffering, teachers are suffering, they're struggling a lot in order to bring the standard of the school high. There is no point of sending unless they have an aim of bringing the children up, seeing the children on high. And they should also allow the children to just adhere to the instructions and the conditions of the English medium curriculum. Children and parents who hunger for good speaking as well as the writing skills need to opt for English medium schools. The rest, they do not have to, is what I really mean to say. Or else the problem is that they do not study well, because they don't have hunger for good speaking and writing skills. They do not want to improve any of the skills, rather. But just for the sake of coming and then saying outside, when the people meet on some occasions with the family members or friends or whatever in the friend circle during some marriage or birthday occasions or whatever they are, of course they just want to say that my son is studying or my daughter is studying in an English medium school. If not for this one, there is no other benefit. There's no other great thing to say. Parents who want their children to progress well in their career and anywhere on the planet Earth should send them in English medium schools. Otherwise, they can just keep them at home. But they should have a desire that their children should progress well in their career. A child's learning English as a subject gives the child less chance or a scope of its association with the language learning, but learning all subjects in English motivates and facilitates the child to be in more and better association with and well acquainted with the English language. The children's acquaintance with the language is something which is on demand right now, and that is something which is very important, and that is what they should just afford for. They should try for that one instead of just reading that as one of the subjects. It's not so, and it's not really going to help. And they should also just keep one thing in mind, that all the other subjects except for the language, the local language, the rest of the subjects are just given in English only. And if at all the students are able to construe the language very well, have all the 4 skills earned and drilled to the maximum extent, then they can fight anything in this world. Because everywhere, across the whole world, of course, because we want to send our children to different countries. This is something, a kind of a trend that developed. It's not a recent phenomenon. It has been there for quite a long time. But in the olden days, only the meritorious students were sent. Nowadays, because almost many people are just going for the sake of studying, knowing the fact, or knowing one of the facts that in India we're not really having the practical knowledge. And in order to gain some practical knowledge and freedom in studying the subjects what they want, because they're going abroad. In India, because we have not yet gone for such a thing at all. We do not have. And if at all the children or the students get acquainted with the English language, they become more confident, not only in any English speaking environment, but in any kind of an environment. They can show their confidence. They can give others also some confidence. When all subjects are in English and taught in English, automatically the child is made to think in English but not forced, and is enabled to speak in English at ease gradually. This is not something who comes and pushes the child and then makes the child do it by force. It comes naturally. And this, of course, the school will have to create such an environment. We cannot get such an environment from anywhere else. At home it is not possible, because most of the parents, they do not speak. Even if at all they know the language very well, of course they would try to go for, or otherwise they will just take the choice of speaking in their mother tongue, in their native language, instead of going for the other language which is not considered as a native language, which is English. And in most of the in our country, in most of the places, it is considered as a foreign language still, though English has become a part and parcel of our country today, which is not realized by most of the people. The politicians do not want this to be realized amongst our students, and even amongst the teachers also. Some of the teachers, they do say it is not our language, but it's not so. Very unfortunately, this kind of a behavior is not going to bring any kind of an improvement amongst the students everywhere. This has to be sorted out at the earliest. And for this, of course, all the teachers will have to just pull their socks up. Pull their socks up means they have to improve, and they have to just make the children also improve. The language English will just bring confidence amongst the students. This is the reason why we have to just go for English. It may not be our language, but it has become an international language, and we are also there in the whole world today. We want the world to consider us as one of the nations and important nations, but still, if at all, we just don't go for a common language which is accepted everywhere in the world, which is English. How can we say this? A rational thinking is very essential at this juncture. An environment where both the teachers and the students communicate in English, the language, though felt to be a challenge to those who are now new to the environment, gradually draw the attention towards doing or loving it. We love when it is commonly spoken by everyone, used by everyone. Of course, gradually people and students and everyone will start loving that. If we neglect, then one thing we have to just keep in mind, that we are also neglected after some time. There will be a demand in each and every school. Everyone wants to be seen high everywhere. We also see some of the people going abroad and we feel jealous of them. And they also just gain some knowledge. At the same time, they also developed their skills, the 4 skills of English language. They are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. In all these 4 skills, of course, students will have to be proper. They have to master this, because they naturally start thinking in the target language, which is English, and stop translating from the vernacular language to English itself. Initially, when we create an environment, this would happen. Otherwise, they will have to depend on the translation method, which is not really going to help them in the long run. Translation method, of course, it takes a very long time for students or even for any one of us to just translate it, because we do see most of the people elsewhere struggling for this, literally struggling. They just go for the translation, they translate in their mind, it takes a lot of time, and then they just use this in the English language itself, whatever they want to communicate. But if you create an environment, then it wouldn't happen. Gradually, of course, it takes time, at least 6 months' time. And for a few people who are good in mastering things, of course, they just take 2 to 3 months also. Gradually, they start, right from day one, of course, they start working on mastering it. They want to become masters in that. Not everyone, it may not be possible to each and every one to master it very quickly, but for some people, it is possible. Why don't we be that some? And that is what here, as your well-wisher, I would like to say. Try to make this a kind of a habit amongst yourself, and at the same time amongst the students, your children at home, and your friends, and even your relatives' children. Start doing it. And of course, let's have some English club. If English club is there, of course, we can certainly do that. It is possible. Thinking and communicating in English helps the children and also us to improve the base, the foundation, and make it further stronger. And this further helps in gathering more and more knowledge, grabbing better opportunities in life. The one who is able to confidently speak English will grab several opportunities that come the way. Opportunities do not come, but we have to find opportunities. We have to search for opportunities. But there are sometimes opportunities come our way. But when they come, if at all we have the skills that are necessary for them, that's wonderful, really. So we don't have to struggle later. And that is the reason why we should have each and everything before in hand, rather than having something after some failures. This needs to be kept in mind, that the modern form of education is not complete without good knowledge of speaking and writing English. We are not in the whole old world. We are not here to think like our past people. We are not here to think like our politicians. And the politicians do say something. They say something, but they have something else doing in their doings. You see where their children are studying? Some or most of the politicians' children, they study there in different countries, in English countries. Why should they send? It's their wish. And foolishly, some of our people do agree to it. And why don't? Of course, if at all they are going, if their children are going, fine, well and good. And why is that we shouldn't try to go there? But some of these people, the anchors keep coming, and some of these anchors also have been to different countries, and some of their children are also studying abroad. But while anchoring, of course, they say that we need to give more importance to our mother tongue. That's fine. There is absolutely no problem. My mother tongue is Andhra language. Of course, I'm good in that. I speak that language very well. I have not done any injustice to the language, and I wrote songs in that. I do know that very well. I teach in that language too, sometimes whenever I go to my place. But at the same time, I love English. I started loving English right since my childhood. The moment I saw some of the foreigners coming to our country and in the place, I also studied in a village. It's not that I have studied in city only. I have got all experiences of studying in village, town and city. And I'm accustomed to it. And I'm acquainted with the language, English language, and I loved it. I loved it more than anything else. And you may laugh, I know my language Telugu, my Andhra language, but when I had to just go, when I was studying in my 10th standard and I had a teacher in English, I think I told this story earlier also, but if at all some of them have not known this, I'm just telling you this now. Very clear, please listen to it. I had an English teacher when I was 9th and 10th standard, when I was studying 9th and 10th, that is what I meant. And he was a good English teacher, and I was the only student who would speak in English at the time. And when I went to him, he knew maybe one day in the tutorial, this is not in the school, but tutorial, once in a while he would come to the school also. But most of the time, of course, in the evening classes, of course, we used to go to the tutorials, and there we had the sessions, and then directly when we were in contact with him, most of my classmates, they would speak only in Telugu, and I was the only one who would speak to him in English. And he asked me something in Telugu, in my language once, and I said, "Sir, can you speak in English?" And don't you know this language, Telugu, your own language? No, sir, I don't know. He laughed. One of the main reasons that he laughed at me when I said that one was that he knew that I knew my mother tongue, but I did not want to do that. I did not want to go for it. I did not want to speak to him in that language. He did not know that, but he knew that I knew my language. But after some time, when I was just away from my friends, then I just went separately to him and requested him, "Sir, I know Telugu, I know my language, but I do not want to speak with you in that language. At least you can speak to me in English. I want to continue." And then he started appreciating me. Because one thing, when I was in 8th standard, I started teaching grammar to the rest of the people, even to the graduates. I was studying my 8th standard, but I used to teach English grammar to the graduates and postgraduates also, because that was a love which I developed for English right since my childhood. And today, anywhere I go, because I have no issues about English at all, because I made it almost a kind of a mother tongue. When I am alone, I speak to myself sometimes in English only, not in my language. Now, my dear friends, my dear colleagues, my dear brothers and sisters, I would like to say it's quite important that children should get exposed to the English language, and we also need to get exposed to the English language speaking environment. Others are not going to create the environment for us. It is not their job, it is our job. We are here in this world, and we have mostly understood that people do not work for us. We do not work for people. We have to work for ourselves. We are not going to depend on anybody else in this world. We have to stand on our own. We are self-made persons, and we should not forget this fact. We should not depend on others at all at any time. And it's therefore, wherever we are working, remember, my dear ones, every one of us should remember that fact that each country is a part of the world. We are also the part of the world, and only the language that connects us to the rest of the world is none other than English, and its importance no one can put down, no one can degrade it. No one is saying that we should not that we should get rid of our mother language, mother tongue. I love my mother tongue, which is Telugu, our Indian language. I've learnt it. I give seminars in that. I give messages in that. But at the same time, I also give messages very comfortably in English. I'm more comfortable in English than in my mother tongue. But still, I don't say that I'm not good in my mother tongue. I'm good. Even some of the experts may just fail to do something, but I still do not fail. In the present era, there is a strong need for each person to know English, especially in our country. And you would not be surprised to know that the local people in most of the places, towns and cities, give reports to those who can speak English. Respect, not reports, sorry. They give respect to those who can speak in English very fluently. The moment you start speaking English, of course, you see all the eyes turn towards you, not against you, towards you in respect and in adoration. Who is this person? Where is this person from? Such is the attitude that they show. Such is the respect that they show. Right. And why should we neglect? Just because someone is saying, the politician is saying, our politician is not giving us the food. Remember this. English has been awarded as the second national language in India. Second national language in India. As it meets the requirements of the modern world. And we are there given importance. Our India is also given a lot of importance in the rest of the world, just because some of our Indians are very good in English. You know that. Then why should we neglect this? Please pull your socks up. Once again, I'm saying this. Pull your socks up. You can take it as an idiomatic expression. Pull your socks up means make efforts in order to improve. Anyways, have a nice time, have a nice day. Thank you all. Take care. Bye-bye. God bless you.